Hello and welcome to another episode of Dying to Chat. I'm Sally from Soul Journey with Sally. I'm an end-of-life doula, celebrant, and death educator. Thank you for joining with me again today. This is an open space for honest and compassionate conversation about death, dying, grief, and living well. Together, we'll explore the topics that help us prepare, connect, and support one another with greater confidence and compassion. Take a seat, make yourselves comfortable, and let's start the conversation. I'm pleased this morning to welcome Damara Pearl to our Dying for Chat. Thank you for being here and sharing your knowledge and experience with us, Damara. We're looking forward to exploring your work in the death care profession together. Damara Pearl has spent much of her working life walking alongside people during some of their most vulnerable moments. As a funeral director, a funeral celebrant, and an end of life guide living in Nelson in New Zealand, she combines practical experience with a deep belief that death is not just a medical event or a funeral, it's a profoundly human experience. Her work is about creating space for meaningful conversations, supporting people to make informed choices, helping families honour the lives of those they love in ways that feel authentic and personal. Whether she's arranging a funeral or leading a ceremony or talking with someone planning ahead, her aim is always the same: to bring compassion, clarity, and kindness to what often feels overwhelming. Damara is passionate about encouraging open conversation around death and dying, and she believes that when we become more intentional how we live is how we care for one another and how we say goodbye. Welcome, Damara. It's great to have you here today.
Hi, Sally. Thank you for inviting me.
So we'll go straight into the questions, I think, because we've got a lot to cover. Um, what drew you to work in this profession? What made you want to be working in the death
It's
care space?
it's something I always knew that I would do. I didn't know when, except once my children were like had grown up, basically, and
Yes.
because it's not a very friendly, family friendly. I wouldn't call it family friendly as a working environment because of all the kind of crazy hours you end up doing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Difficult space to work in, isn't it? But very rewarding. What are the biggest misconceptions people have about what you do?
Um, Gosh, I still manage to get surprised at some of the things. I don't think, um, to be honest, I think, there's a lot of people look at funeral directing or just working in the underworld as such, is very influenced by what they've seen on TV and in movies. And it's not like that at all. They don't realize how much time you spend um, cleaning and cleaning. There's a lot of things like that we do that they don't realize is you know
All part of it. Yeah.
yeah, it's not glamorous a lot of the time. That they see us suited and at a funeral, but that's not all day every day. There's a
No.
whole lot of messy things in between.
Yeah. So what has your work taught you about life?
Live it.
Yes.
Be present and death happens. It can happen anytime, anywhere, any age. So that's a given. So instead of worrying about it, kind of just be where you are and
Yeah.
yeah, really appreciate just the little things.
Yeah. Live every day the best way you can, isn't it?
Yeah, and that doesn't have to be like Instagram,
No,
Facebook. It
no.
can just be sitting outside with a cup of tea
Yeah.
and
Enjoy the little things.
yeah, because everyone's version of that's going to be so different. But
Yeah.
yeah, just be where you are,
That's right.
and yeah,
Yeah. I think it's so precious. I mean, when I go walking with my dogs, just lately we've had lots of fantails and it's been beautiful because they flutter around you when you're walking, and that is so
Mm.
heartwarming. There's something about those beautiful birds that there's something spiritual about them. And when I'm walking and they're flying around my head and darting by my feet and around the dogs and up and round, it's really quite special. And I come home feeling quite refreshed, not from the steep hill I've just climbed, but from from the connection with the nature. It's
It's
amazing.
like being in a Disneyland movie.
Yeah,
Like with Snow White
yeah,
when everyone's
yeah.
like flying around.
Blue bird
Yeah.
on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Um, have you seen families create unique or beautiful ways to honor their loved ones? And can you tell us something about that?
Uh, One that sticks out that I still love the most was a very simple, casket.
Yeah,
And the family arrived with glue guns and they had a whole lot of artificial flowers and
yes.
they totally embellished the whole casket and it
Wow.
looked so cool. And
Yeah,
then people came in and drew on the lid. I mean, that's common, but it was seeing the gluing and
yeah.
and everyone's conversations and
While they were doing
again,
it. Yeah.
it was such a great tribute and was really reflective of the person as well.
Mm. It's quite nice when people get together communally like that and do their own way of farewelling because they're honouring by doing that action, aren't they? Because it's with
Yeah.
intent. So they take in the flower, taking the glue, thinking about why they're doing it, and then they're doing it. And they might talk to someone, they might not, but at least they've taken their heart into that moment, haven't they? It's
Yeah,
amazing.
and they are in that
Yeah.
moment. Like the intent is fully focused
Yeah.
and yeah, I love it. I love
It,
that sort of thing.
it's amazing, isn't it? How you can
Mm.
get connection through the simplest acts, really. What conversation do you wish families had before a crisis event or a death of someone?
I really wish that people would say what they wanted, whether it's cremation or burial, um, especially when they go before they go away on holiday.
Hmm.
I think one of my biggest wishes is that people had funeral insurance, that they had a will, and they had a funeral like a
Advanced
funeral
care plan.
plan
Yeah.
sort of or just pre-arrangement of some description.
Yes.
Doesn't have to be the funeral home, but just so if, for example, they died overseas,
Yes.
that one, there's a financial means that they can get, the family will be able to afford their
Access.
wishes.
Yes.
And also they just know what to do
Yeah.
because it's so hard. And
Yes.
I know everyone's focused on the holiday, but and they kind of think, oh, I'm a bit of a downer when I say that, but
But no, it's
it's,
true because you do hear
oh,
of people that suddenly
yeah,
pass away on holiday, and suddenly you've got this person to get back to wherever they've come from, and you've got no extra money because you've spent it all on the holiday, and you haven't thought about if something happens. And we don't think about that because we're planning all the good stuff. But
yeah,
like you say, if we just make provision for that and just say to whoever's with us, if this happens when we're away, we've both got insurance, or whoever's with you's got insurance. The money's in the bank if the family need it to access for a funeral sort of arrangement. Um, the insurance company will activate whatever it is to export the body back home and all this sort of thing. And it just takes that anxiety out, doesn't it? Just takes that um, worry
yeah.
and the stress of who's going to deal with it and how we're going to deal with it because it's all the unknowns again, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I know there'll be people that'll say, oh, well, the insurance probably won't pay out or whatever. But, again, it's just having something so that the family
Mm.
know, oh, you want to be cremated wherever you are and your
Yes.
ashes brought back, or
Yeah.
just a little something to
Yeah.
help them. Because it's like when you're in the deep water and your toe suddenly hits the ground and you think, oh, I'm going to
Yeah,
be okay. It
yeah,
just gives you somewhere to start
yeah. I love
of
that
like
analogy.
knowing.
I love that
Yeah.
analogy. How have funerals have you found since you've been working so many years in the industry? How do you feel they've changed over those years? Have they changed? And if they have, how?
Yeah, I think people are realizing, I mean, it was tough during the COVID time when there was nothing, like it was so restricted.
Yeah.
So I've been in coming up 10 years. So even in the 10 years, like I've noticed expense,
Yes.
like, and that's like council, which is topical at the moment. But um, people have, there's still always the people that want the traditional.
Yes.
But then families are getting a little bit braver. There seems to be a lot more memorial services where they will choose to have a, like a direct cremation, and
Yes.
then the family
Get
will
together.
have time. Well, they just
Mm.
have time, maybe
Yes.
sometimes to not rush things. To really think about it and not think, oh my gosh, this person died, and it's just like bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang. It doesn't even if it's a burial, but things don't have to be done so fast. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
depend the person's body. There's always things to consider, but I think people are realizing
You
that
can take a
that
breath and pause. Yes.
yeah, and just think, even writing a newspaper notice,
Mm.
because like I say to families, you've got to look at that for the rest of your life.
Mm.
So take the time to compose what you want to say,
Mm.
because, invariably people get missed out, or, it's just like
Yes.
take a breath and one foot in front of the other, and we'll get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like I think people are realizing the difference now is there's lots of different ways to do things, and
Yes.
they don't have to default. Actually, probably, sorry, I'm going on, but one
No,
of the
it's all right.
things I've noticed the most, people used to bring, like dad, they'll bring a suit,
Yes.
and I would ask them, did dad wear a suit? And they would go, oh, no. And I'm like, but when you see dad in a casket and
Yes.
wearing clothes that he wouldn't normally wear, what did he wear? Oh, trackies and a so I said, well, let's do that.
Yeah.
And and they suddenly go, oh, can I do that? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just getting away from that traditional, but then there's always people that want that, and I'm not begging that
No.
either. It's
No.
just going, having an
Having
informed
a thought
choice.
and a choice.
Yeah,
Yes, that's it.
yeah.
It is the informed choice, and we're learning so much more now because we're having these open conversations about the choices that are available to people. So
Mm,
it's really great, I think. Um, what do you feel that people often need most in the first few days after a death?
water.
Or
Because I'm forever saying, people don't know what to do, so they make they'll make someone a cup of tea or
tea,
coffee.
yes.
Now those things just make them pee more,
Yeah.
and and they're not drinking water. They're tired. They're dehydrated a lot of the time, and the thinking is so, it's like having concrete shoes. So it's
Yes.
like I mean, I joke, but I'm always like,
Yes.
drink water.
Yeah.
I mean, the food thing is always like, we'll just have little
If
nibbles,
you feel like it,
but
yeah.
honestly,
It's the
water
water.
is like,
Yeah.
drink water, because they're just running on empty.
Mm.
And I know, but I have families laugh at me, but the amount of times I've said, have you had any water by any chance?
Yeah.
And they'll go, oh, no, but they'd had a
Yeah.
million cups of coffee or tea
Yeah.
or, whatever else. But yeah,
And just take time, isn't it?
yeah.
In
But
those days,
when
not rush.
you can't go
Yeah.
fast drinking a glass of water.
No, that's true.
It's something you sit down, and I'll tell you something that I have learnt. You don't have to have a boring glass for your
Glass.
water.
No,
You
no.
can have a beautiful glass and it makes it even nicer to drink out of.
That's lovely. What should everyone know about a funeral planning you wish they'd known before they needed it? I mean, we've talked about making someone aware of cremation or burial or where to take
Yeah.
the body if needed, but is there something else that you wish people were aware of before they needed it? So when they're thinking about these
Yeah.
things, what's
Just write down your personal details.
right? Yes,
Write down your things which is needed for death registration. I mean, a lot of families now, there's maybe more than one marriage or
yes.
and they're all things that quite often is, needed. So having just a little Word document somewhere that you keep up to date, but things like knowing, your mother's maiden name
Yes.
and her profession and the amount of couples I'll get to sit down and get them to fill out each other's
Mm.
and they come back to me and they go, we've been together 40 years and I
No
didn't know
idea.
that. And I just said, imagine doing that when you're sad and
Yes.
upset and
Yeah.
tired. And I just like, it's the
Yeah.
easiest thing to just have tucked away.
Yeah.
And, it's done. And it makes things so much
So much
easier for
easier.
your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of thing you could put in with your passports, isn't it? Or
Yep.
your birth certificates, just the information of your immediate family, who they are, what their full names are, and the information, occupation, or whatever it is
Yeah.
needed. Yeah. You don't know you need it until you need it. That's the trouble, do
Yeah.
we? And then when we do need it, like you say, we're in a state of flux and we can't think straight. So, you know, try and work these things out early. It makes it so much easier.
Oh, absolutely.
What one question you wish people would ask, but they very rarely do? Tuffy.
Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm lucky. I seem to get people that ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's good.
yeah, well, I'm always an advocate. There's never a silly question.
No.
So you're in a funeral home or you're here with a funeral director, what's coming up? Ask.
Yeah.
Um,
There's no
even
right or wrong.
I think having kids involved or
Yes.
once they're teenagers, having them around when there's a funeral going on. Yeah, that's actually a hard one because everyone is so different.
Mm.
I can't think of anything.
Exactly. No.
No,
Well, that's
sorry.
good. That's good. Obviously, your communications are great with your clients. If you could have dinner with anybody, living or deceased, who would that be and why?
Lee Miller. So she was a photographer.
Yeah.
Um, I first saw her work when I was about 16, I think, when I was overseas. And it was a photograph she did with Man Ray. And it's just
Oh,
this
wow.
little
Yeah.
little tear in looking through I think it was actually ended up being a toilet in the desert. But her work just amazed me.
Yeah.
And her eye for detail, her whole background of her fashion, being a fashion model, and just what's happened to her, like with her relationships, all the people that were influenced. She was good friends with Picasso
Yes.
and then a war correspondent. She was a very brave woman, but she
Mm.
also really paid for it with her mental health in the end. But her son didn't even know about
Wow.
her photography
Wow.
until after she died, and they were going through the attic and found all her photos. And so now they have they're archiving things. They've opened
Yeah.
up their Farley farm, but fascinating woman,
Yeah.
and she ended up being like getting right into cooking and
Wow.
things at the end. But yeah, just interesting. Her
Sit and have a
eye.
conversation. Yeah, it would be
Yeah, there'd be
wonderful,
so
wouldn't it?
much to talk about. Yeah.
So we're going a bit more personal now. So what's one thing that is an absolute must do at your own farewell? Have you thought about that?
I actually have a death file,
Oh,
and
good.
I have everything in it. Absolutely everything. I've even written my own funeral notice.
Right.
Um,
That's cool, isn't it?
yeah, what is something? I just know my kids are very like music is a big part of my life.
Yeah,
So it'll be there'll be a playlist of some sort that the kids will put
yeah,
together. Yeah. So it'll
cool.
be listening to the music and maybe a specific reading when I figure out I annually go through all
Yeah,
my funeral plan and think
change it up.
yes,
Yeah,
no, out, in, yeah.
yeah. Well, we're always changing and evolving with experiences and things that happen
Mm,
and things we learn about. So it's a good thing to keep revisiting, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay, okay. We've enjoyed the conversation, but we're going to have just a quick fire round on some fun things now. So, tea or coffee?
Coffee,
Sunrise or sunset?
sunrise,
Beach or mountains?
mountain,
One word your friends would use to describe you?
original,
One song to be played on your farewell playlist?
pig by Steely Dan,
Cool. Sweet or savory?
sweet.
What one thing do you have on your bucket list? Or do you have a
Going
bucket
to
list?
see the Viking Ship Museum in Oslo.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to do it next year,
Oh, that's
actually.
good. That'll be
Yeah,
cool. Well, as we come to the end of today's conversation, I'd like to sincerely thank you, Damara, for being our guest and sharing your time and knowledge and experience with us all. Thank you also to our listeners for joining in. I hope today's conversations encouraged you all to think, talk, and plan with confidence and compassion. If you'd like to know a bit more about anything Damara has talked about today, or if there's something you'd like us to cover in future episodes, please get in touch and we'll answer any questions you have. So until next time, take care of yourselves and one another, and thank you for listening to Dying to Chat.
thank you.